Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a video on what's the fastest, quickest way you can get fired from your nursing job. It is HIPAA. HIPAA violations. HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, HIPAA. You will hear that a lot in nursing. HIPAA. You violate HIPAA, you will be fired. And period, you will be fired. So, what does that mean? Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Basically, it's protecting the patient's privacy, protecting their information, their identity, their all their business. It's protecting it. As healthcare professionals, especially as nurses, we have access to everything about our patients. Like, we are all in their charts. We know their social security number. We know their insurance. We know all their business, where they're living. We know all their disease history. We know if they had crabs back in the day, if they HIV positive, if they, we know all about the STDs. We know, about all the diseases. We are privy to their health information before they are. Like, we'll know that a patient has brain cancer or just cancer, period, before they even know, and we're still going in there, like, acting like everything is normal, knowing that the next time they see the doctor, they're about to get some devastating news, So we know all their business. We know everything about them. And so it's so important to be responsible with that kind of information. You cannot be just out here blabbing people's information like that. Like, you just can't. So, some tips on protecting your patient's HIPAA, protecting their privacy. The biggest thing being, don't post anything on social media about your patients. Don't do it. Just don't even bother doing it. You can say something like, oh, I had a rough day at work, had an interesting patient today, it was a lot. But if you start, like, putting details into it, like, yeah, I had a patient on Thursday who had hyperkalemia, and, like, if you start doing that, sometimes coworkers or other people around you can figure out who you're talking about. That's a violation of that patient's HIPAA. Like, you just violated it right there. If you're putting out information to the point where somebody can identify who you're talking about, you just violated HIPAA. So it's just better to just not even bother. Never put pictures up of people's, like, test results, or never post anything with any identifying things on a patient. Nothing where they can be identified. Don't do it. So I don't even play around with social media. As you see on my channel, like, I'm not describing no patients. Like, no, I'm not doing it, because I'm not trying to say something and then somebody can figure out who I'm talking about. No, absolutely not. Or be like, yeah, I had a patient who had a big old birthmark on their back on the right side. No. Somebody could be watching and be like, my husband got that kind of, like, what was he in the clinic for? Don't do it. So yeah, again, don't put, like, pictures or anything that can identify them. Don't describe the patient in depth at all. Don't do it. Nothing where people can figure out. Even coworkers, like another nurse, you're not supposed to be giving information about your patient. You're just not. If that nurse isn't going to be contributing in the care of that patient, even another nurse, you're not supposed to be telling that kind of information to. And we hear HIPAA violations all the time, when we're out there, and nurses are chatting about their patients, and, oh, his labs was this, and he got this type of infection. That is a HIPAA violation. We're not supposed to be doing that, because, again, other workers who could be walking by and figuring it out, like, oh man, I think they're talking about that guy in room 50. you know, or family could be walking past, friends could be walking past and hear you and figure out who you're talking about. And maybe that patient didn't want, you know, that family to know. You know, I had a patient before who didn't want her significant other to know about her diagnosis and stuff. So, you know, no, just don't assume that just because someone is married or dating somebody, or you know, or that's their mom or that's their kid, that that person wants that family member to know. No, not at all. um yeah, the other thing, don't leave like their information out open. Close your computer screens if you're walking away. Log out of that stuff. Don't leave your computers logged in inside the patient's room either. If you need to step out, you know, shut that screen down, log out of there. Don't leave any, you know, EKG papers or lab results or faxes, anything out on the open where a, a family member or friend or another worker in the hospital could walk by and see that stuff. Those are violations. um Also, just monitor like where you're talking. You need to be talking only with another nurse who's going to be doing care for that patient. That's the only time you need to be talking to somebody else about your patient. And it should only be like right outside their room or in their room, in the patient's room. But don't be talking about people in the elevator, in the cafeterias. Like, no, 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 don't do it. um Also, if you hear or you see like that your friend is admitted in, don't be a little curious. Don't be the little curious one and be like, oh, what my best friend in here for? Don't do it. Do not click on her chart. That is none of your business. Do not do it. If somebody famous comes into your hospital and you want to know what's going on, what's the tea, do not do it. They monitor that. They're able to track, you know, the computer people in your hospital. I don't know how to say it, but they track what you're looking at. What are you looking at? What you searching for? Why was you in this? Like, no. So don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even look at your own charts while you're clocked in at work. Don't even do it. That's a violation. Don't even be in your chart at work while you're clocked in. Don't do it. Um, yeah, I think that's it for what I have. Also, another thing, again, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but try to ask your patient whenever they're alone or whatever, like who they feel comfortable with knowing their information. And if there are people in the room, ask them to leave. If you need to, you know, talk to your patient privately about something, ask them to step out. If you're not sure, ask them to step out. And then they can tell you like, no, 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 it's okay, they can stay. But just assume that that patient doesn't want anybody to know anything, and just ask people to step out before you start talking about, you know, more private things. So yeah, that's my video on HIPAA. Again, it will get you fired real quick. They're very strict about it. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been there as a nurse, how good you are, how good your reviews are, how many compliments you get from patients. You violate HIPAA, you will be fired. Period. You can't do it. Don't do it. Don't post about people on social media. Don't talk about, you know, patients outside of the patient room. Don't do it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time.